In this video, we're going to continue looking at the image widgets, and we're going to look at the image link. Now, if you watched the previous video, which I strongly encourage you to do, as there's more of an overview in it, what you can do is you can choose to select a file. You can take it from the library. But let's start at the top, URL. Like I showed you in the previous video, I prefer, now this would be a URL that you link to, not the URL that would go here like in the previous video. And all that means is where's the link going to? It can go to another page within the mobile site, or it could go to an external link. Now, one time that this becomes important is if the image isn't being used for an internal linking or even external. But if, say, you wanted to use Flickr, in the previous video I showed you how I liked Foki. I'm probably saying that totally wrong. I also really like Flickr. However, after taking a look at their terms of service, now if you have an image on a website, it must have a link back to the page. And let me show you what that means. So to use Flickr, you just choose your photo, so I could pick any photo here and I'd upload it, and it'll upload the picture. So ask it to upload. This should only take a second, so we'll actually go through the process so you can see it. And there we go. And then if I wanted to add a description, I can add a description, tags, etc., add it to a site. This gives me that opportunity. Now, once I've done that and I want to use my images, I might want to do something with this image. See, this is the page that this image now sits on, and it'll have a Flickr. Let me drag that up for just a second. It'll have a Flickr URL. And that URL will link to this page, not to this image, to this page. So if you try to share using their share stuff, you'll notice that it shares the link to the page, not the link to the image. And that's important. Now, I can get the link, I can get both from here. See that? I can get the actual image URL, see image circ, that's the image source. And there is the code that I would use for placing in here, down here in our source. But if I was going to use Flickr, I must place the other URL, which is right here, or as I showed you in the other form of sharing, just the link is here. So just something to be aware of. If you use Flickr, I know people do, and other people might teach you to do it. I'm telling you that according to the terms of service, now it's all fine and dandy what you want to do with your own sites, but when you're dealing with a client's site in a client's business, you're messing with their livelihood. So don't mess around, follow terms of service on sites. It's really important. So I'm going to get off the soapbox on that. It's not that you can't use Flickr, but use it correctly. Flickr is great. It gets indexed fast. It's good for SEO. You'll see on my comparison chart I showed you before. I mean, Flickr is pretty much green checked right across the board. So it's got a lot going for it. I mean, 29.3 million pages indexed. It's a big one, of course. So that's something. Now, you don't have that issue with Foki. So, but there are reasons for using Flickr. I'm not going to dig any deeper into it. I just want you to show that it is possible, and you can get images and you can use them, and that's how you do it. So back to back to where we were. So you can choose where something's going to go. You can, of course, select the file from your computer, as we did before with the data standard, just like that. And we can go to our library and select the photo. Any which way, though the best way, like I said in the previous video, is go get your URL, put your image on a photo sharing site, go get a shortened site that comes with statistics, comes with stuff. See, especially when you're talking about an image that's linking somewhere, like say the image links to, get the great coupon today, and clicks, you want those statistics. You want to know how many people clicked, then they land on the coupon page, how many people took a couponer, how many people opted in. That is important data. Conversions help not just justify, but quantify the efforts you take and show people a return on their investment. So that's it for this one. It's a very, all the image link widgets except for the gallery are very straightforward. Even the gallery is. So in the next video, we're going to look at using a logo. And it's basically the same thing except how it sits when you put it on the page. So when I drag that on here, you'll see it. And if you were to look at this, let me save it and preview it. 1 second. There it is. You'll see that there's sort of a border. See that? If I change the background color, it would stand out a lot more. But, well, actually, let me do that. Let me just make it something pretty loud. There we go. And we'll save that. Preview it. There you go. And now you can see that? So when you use the logo one, you'll see a difference. And I'll show you that in the next video.